For me, it's been a blessing for sure. It's been a blessing to be here. Worked very hard for this moment, and so for me, I think it's kind of like nostalgia being back here. I'm definitely blessed to be back in Indy. Had a lot of good fortune here last time I was here, so yeah, it's definitely a blessing to be here. And I'm excited for the moment. I'm excited for the opportunity. I kind of envisioned this day for a long time as a kid. Didn't really understand what it would be like, but I'm glad to be here for sure.
What were those memories like when you got back to India? What exactly did you start thinking about?
You just kind of get those chill bumps, you know what I mean, walking through. It's kind of, you remember a lot, you know what I mean? You remember a lot, but you remember a little at the same time because you know what you're here for. But yeah, it's amazing to kind of remember where you were standing, where you knew the game was over. Remember what triple zeros looked like on the clock. It's a special feeling. Remember the confetti falling, the celebration. But you know all of that stuff's gone now. You know none of the national championship stuff here is all back to normal. So yeah, it's just definitely special. Yeah, I think for me, just kind of the recollection of it all. They'll teach you to play really fast. You got to be able to recall it. And for me, I feel like that's one of the things that makes me special, just my ability to recall plays, to understand schemes instead of just assignments. And for me, I enjoy that part of the game. I feel like I'm a very heady player, very knowledgeable player, and that kind of speaks to my versatility as well. So yeah, I enjoy that part of it. Yes, I have. I met with him briefly, either yesterday or the day before. It's kind of a general, brief conversation, but I'm enjoying getting to know them more. Yes, I believe I did as well. Yep, met with the Bengals as well. Kind of similar things. A lot of the meetings I had recently just have been, you know, kind of those general meetings of them trying to get to know me trying to get to know them. A lot of times they'll quiz you, see what you know, and try to see your football IQ, see what you learned in college. Maybe teach them your favorite play from college or something like that. Just kind of get an idea of what kind of player you are, how knowledgeable you are, and stuff like that. But I enjoy meeting them.
What kind of feedback did you get from your week in the Senior Bowl?
Yeah, for me, just showed a lot of versatility. A lot of people talked about how they enjoyed watching me show my versatility. Enjoyed how physical I was there. Just enjoyed watching me play. Honestly, I know talking to Coach Fraley from the Detroit Lions, he talked about how versatile I was, how he felt like if he drafted me, he wouldn't have a problem with me understanding the playbook or anything like that. So, yeah, I definitely enjoyed my time there, learning from him, learning from that awesome staff. They did a great job coaching me. Say that one more time. Yes, position first still. Yep. Kind of all over. I've kind of gotten questions about all five positions. I know everybody likes to kind of put me in that box of inside guy because of quote unquote lack of athleticism. But I've played in the SEC 4 years, good 4 years. Think I've only given up 2 sacks to great players. Anytime my number was called on to you hold a guy down or to do my job, I was there. I did it. I competed at the highest level that I could. So I think it's interesting that people like to say that to get a knock on my athleticism, but you know, it is what it is. I don't think I've met with the Patriots yet. Yeah, I remember Isaiah. He helped recruit me. I watched Isaiah a lot. Actually, he's kind of very similar to me size-wise, measurement-wise. But he's a great player, freaky player for the University of Georgia. Helped recruit me. I remember meeting with him like one G day. Kind of sat me down in the locker room. It's kind of just like this is the place you need to be. Coach Pittman is this and that. So yeah, I enjoyed talking to him. Then everybody speaks highly of him that's played with him. So yeah. That David Andrews actually did a play breakdown for us one week. It was kind of cool. Listen to that guy, man. He's got a crazy football mind. You can tell why he's been in the league so long. Played on a great team. So, yeah, definitely had the honor to meet him as well. Oh, man. I think it's kind of like a volcano waiting to erupt. You know what I mean? Everybody knows everybody knows he's good, but I don't think people really understand how special he is. I mean, that's one of those special talents, man. Like a team would be lucky to have that on their roster. Like he's freaky. I'll say that. I'll leave it at that. Oh yeah, no doubt. It's a different brand of football week to week. It's physical football. I don't think it's matched by any conference. I mean, in my opinion, personally. And I've played teams from almost every conference now, or at least the big ones, at least the Power Five. So, yeah, this is a different brand of football. The way that we lean on each other, the way that it gets physical, the practice habits, going in and out every single day. I just don't think any conference can match that. And I think it's kind of very similar to the NFL. You got very great players at every single position. There's no drop off. There's a guy can go down in the depth chart. And you're like, oh, the next guy can't be that good. Well, he might be a 5-star coming out of high school. You know what I mean? He might be just as good as the first guy. So I think for me, it's very similar to the NFL in that regard. But obviously, there's a little difference. But yeah, I think that conference definitely gets you ready for that type of.
Yeah, hundreds of reps in tackle. Yet you said there was only 2 sacks. Do you remember those 2 plays?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, no doubt. My first sack I gave up both sacks to the same team, Alabama. First sack, Will Anderson jumped snap on me in the fourth quarter. Just made a great football play. Great player. Honestly, been doing pretty well against me most of the whole game. But he jumped the snap, ended up grabbing Stetson. I was trying to run around the hoop, but he ended up getting his hands on Stetson, bringing him down late in the fourth quarter in the SEC championship. And the second sack I gave up was, honestly, I was honestly really nervous about it. That was a national championship. Christian Harris, another great football player, kind of gave me a little hesitation move. I was at guard. It's like one of my first snaps at guard. And, he kind of beat me inside, and I ended up giving a sack. Honestly, that could have changed the game. So I'm very fortunate, very blessed to have the defense that we had. Gave us a chance to be able to flip the game back on them. But, yeah, it's the only 2 sacks I've given in my career. So I think we just kind of made it simple, put the ball on the ground. We looked at the coach and said, "Coach, let's go. Let's put it on our backs." The offensive line, we were ready. We wanted to get physical, making a one-dimensional game, eat up some clock as well. They had a very explosive offense, so we wanted to eat up some clock, keep their offense off the field, give our defense a break. They just bailed us out again in that drive because of me. So, we wanted to give them a break and be able to get physical with them, run downhill, and got it kick-started with James hitting that big run. So. I think just not forget the work that went into it. I talk about that a lot. It's so much work that went into that season, that national championship. It didn't just happen. Everybody likes to put it on the talent, but it was so much work. And I hope those guys never really undervalue what that work meant to this team, the leadership that went into it. It just all when I think about it, I just think about we won a national championship, but I think about all the hard days that we put into it, the practices, the meetings, and walkthroughs. It was really special. Yeah.
I mean, how do you respond to that? I mean, obviously the SEC rivalries are what they are, but it seems like we're going to have a whole off season here in Alabama. People saying they would have or could have, should have won that game.
The game's over. We score more points. That's all. I've gotten that question a lot. Cause kind of goes back to what DJ was asking me, man. The SEC is freaky. So, you would have a guy that kind of everybody thinks is a really good player and is a good player, but it kind of plays into what you're good at. And so to you, he may not be as much of a problem, but there may be that one guy that nobody talks about. And you're like, man, this guy's a problem. He's fast. He may be this and that. And so I think for me, there's a lot of talented players. Will Anderson, of course, really great player. Kingsley Enagbare, I don't want to butcher his last name, really great player for South Carolina. Aiden Hutchinson, really great player. David Ojabo, I've had to run in the mill. So that's why it's always, to me, it's kind of interesting. It's like I've played all these great players, rarely give up a sack. I held my end of the bargain for my team, but it's always a question of my athleticism and never a question of theirs. So, yeah. Oh yeah, it's crazy. You look at a guy like Jordan Davis. It's always a prime example. Started off as a scout team player, kind of came in overweight. We all did, honestly, as freshmen, overweight. Kind of trying to find our way. And then this guy was playing my week 6. As a freshman, as an 18-year-old. I think he was 17, honestly, 17, 18-year-old kid. And so it's kind of crazy to think about, just the work. Like I said, it all comes back to the work. Those tough days, those days you're like, man, is this for me? You know what I mean? It kind of questions you sometimes, but you push through that. Coaches will love on you, pat you on the back at the end of the day. But yeah, the development definitely was there. I don't think anybody should question that because talent needs to be developed. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody really just walks in the door and plays. Even though it may seem like that from game 1 of their freshman year, fall camp and the spring workouts and summer workouts, that's development, and we all need it. Yeah. Yeah, we did. We addressed it. It was kind of one of those things where Coach Smart kind of sat us down as a leadership group, as a team, and kind of just looked at those sober truths. One of them was that we were out of shape. Another one is that we had a lot of wasted plays in that game. It wasn't really that they just whooped us. It's that we turn the ball over. And a team like that, great football, you turn the ball over, you out of shape, you're not doing things the right way, blowing coverage on the back end, you're going to lose. You're going to lose convincingly. So for us, we wanted to look at those truths every single day and just get 1% better. If we can get 1% more in shape between now and Michigan, that's what we kept saying. If we can get 1% more in executing plays better, we'll be better. So for us, it was kind of that race of a four-legged race between us and the other 4 teams, and we wanted to get 1% better than them every single day.
You were working out with Andrew.
Yeah.
When he was preparing for this.
Yeah.
How much does working out with Andrew Thomas help you prepare for the combine?
I think it kind of gave me the insight, which is a blessing to me. It's always kind of been that way with me and Andrew. He's kind of always walked the hot road before I did and kind of cooled it down for me. So I'm always blessed to have him for that. But just being able to work with him, seeing how he went through it, everything. I honestly got to be very close to him because of COVID. He actually stayed with us a lot in Athens until he had to ship out to New York. So I got to work with him a lot more than I probably would have got to work with a lot of guys that I'm older than. And so I'm blessed to be able to have had the opportunity, got to be able to see things from his perspective, talk to him, talk about this and that. And so it was awesome. I enjoyed it. I'd say either the SEC championship this year or maybe the Clemson game starting off as a hot game for us. So, yeah, I enjoyed that game. Yeah, for me, so just becoming a more well-rounded player, being able to show my true versatility. I've been working on snapping a lot. Snapping, a lot of teams want to make sure they got a center in me. I know they got a center in me. I practice center every single day in practice. I snap all the time. And so for me, it's just one of those things that, I make sure that I know in my mind that is a good thing in my tool bag. And so just being a well-rounded player in that regard, showing my true versatility, being a smarter football player, that's going to be something that's going to be required at the next level, especially as a center if that opportunity presents itself. And just, recovering my body. It's been a long season. Got, however many games, plus the Senior Bowl on top of that. So for me, just recovering my body, making sure I'm in optimal shape to be able to compete. No, I'm honestly actually probably gonna save a lot of drills for the pro day, just to be able to give my body a full chance to recover, be able to show put my best product out there. So yeah.
It seems like we kind of glossed over that Clemson game now because the season took on its own life. But how important was it to win that game? A lot of people are saying, it didn't really matter if you won or lost. You still control your own destiny. But how important was that game, and just how intense was that game when you look back on last season?
I think if you look at the numbers and the rankings and this and that, it didn't really matter, from that perspective. And Coach Smart told us that going into it. But for us, we want to win every single game that we played. For us, it was a matter of their best against our. Do you think they're the best? And at the time, I think they were ranked ahead of us. I want to say, you think they're better than us? We're gonna put it on the line and we're gonna duke it out. And so for us, that's what mattered to us. We wanted to be able to show that we were better than them just off a competition standpoint. And then also it's kind of a springboard. You know what I mean? Starting off hot, like they got a chance with that next year playing Oregon, I think in Atlanta. So it's just kind of one of those springboard games that kind of give you a chance to be special. You get games like that kind of build confidence, and enough confidence, enough talent, enough work, you get a national championship. So. I have not. I would like to have one. I look forward to having one if the opportunity presents itself, but I haven't had one yet. I have talked to them. I talked to them informally here as well. So, I met with them briefly. Nothing off the top of my head. I don't want to put a number on it specifically, but I think for me, a lot of what I've been working on has definitely been bench. Definitely wanting to hit above 30, north of 30 on bench. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I like bench press. I like working out in general. So bench is definitely gonna be probably my favorite thing, my most exciting thing I do there. No, I'll probably do all of my workouts at Pro Day. Yes, sir.
Look at maybe some of the rising stars on the offensive line that are coming back.
Yeah, so you talk about rising stars. We got Buku, we got Broderick Jones. Obviously finished up the national championship game against two great edge rushers they had. He's gonna be special at that left tackle spot. Freak athlete, coming out of high school, play basketball, could dunk, all of that stuff. So he's gonna be a freak athlete holding down that left tackle spot. It's gonna be competitive now. I know that for sure. I don't want to deem anybody at a certain spot, but I just know guys are gonna be good. Maurice Mims is gonna be a great player to look out for. Warren McClendon coming back for his senior year, gonna be a great athlete. Cedric Van Pran coming back being a leader. Warren Erickson. Tate Ratliff, getting Tate Ratliff back is going to be huge for those guys as well. Wishing him a speedy recovery as well. He's got great players. I can go down the whole list. Xavier Truss, you got Devin Willock, looks like freaking a mountain walking through the locker room. And even the young guys they got coming in, I've heard they're really great players, heard great things about them. So I'm excited to see those younger guys develop, the Dylan Fairchilds, the Jarrett Wilsons, Michael Morris. Michael Morris is going to surprise a lot of you guys, so I'm excited to see him. Yeah, I was. Honestly, was very surprised. I just know his passion for the game. If you've been around him, you know he still got that fire. And, when a coach typically steps away from the game, a lot of times you can see it coming. You can see him kind of fizzling out or maybe not so energetic every single day. But Coach Luke was energetic every single day. Had a spark every single day, kind of gave us a spark to go practice, go work hard every single game, every single day. So it's kind of surprising for me. But, I respect his decision. It makes sense to me. He's very, very much a family man, so I can see it from that perspective as well. In my career this season? This season, outside, I'd probably say Will Anderson. Very high motor guy, freaky athlete, great pass rusher on third down. He's kind of probably the most well-rounded player I've played against as far as on the edge of my career. I'd say interior, Fedarian Mathis was a good player. I didn't play interior as much this season, but Fedarian Mathis was a great player. Their whole front was a really good, really great player. So that's who comes to mind.
How are you describing your game, and what do you want teams to know about you?
So I'm a versatile football player. That's number one. I'm a physical football player. I'm a Georgia-bred, UGA, Georgia dog football player, and we were physical every single day in practice. You've seen us practice. We get physical. We get to it. We enjoy practice, and we enjoy the grind and the work. So I'm a grinder. I'm a worker. I'm consistent. I'm relentless. But I'm also a very smart football player. I'm a great kid. I have great character. I'm a high-character guy. That speaks for itself. You can ask anybody and ask them that question. It's going to echo because that's what I take pride in, is being a high-character guy, not having to put my family in positions to have to answer for me for anything that I've done or anything like that. So, but I'm a very versatile football player, very smart, understand schemes really well, and I'm ready to learn. I'm an open football player, and I want to help a team win a Super Bowl. So, yeah, he's going to be a great football player, great young kid. I talked to him a little bit after the game. He's going to be special. He's going to be a great football player. So I'm excited to see him develop as well.
All good. Thank you.
Thank you. I haven't.